is your contact feeling jammed, weak, or tense right now? In today's video, that's the end of that, because you're gonna get access to my 3 best drills that I've used to transform hundreds of players' contacts to generate that effortless power, world-class contact, and massive topspin. These are the same drills that I've used and learned from some of the world's best coaches, including legendary master Rick Macci, who taught Serena and Venus Williams, as well as Andy Roddick. And I'm confident by the end of this video, if you apply a learning mindset, you judiciously and conscientiously follow these drills, you're gonna have that world-class, confident contact. So let's jump right in to drill number 3 and then close with number 1 most valuable drill to perfect that world-class contact point. Does your forehand feel really weak or tight with your contact? In this first drill, drill number 3, you're gonna learn exactly how to rewire your muscle memory to achieve the perfect contact point when you play through this step-by-step drill that we're gonna execute that looks just like that. Now, if you want access to over 15 follow-along drill videos using the most accelerated and cutting-edge learning science, I really want to encourage you right now to click the link in the description where you can learn about the Forehand Transformation System. It's the world's greatest online transformation system designed to program the world's best information into your unconscious muscle memory. So you can not only crush forehands in practice, but also in matches when it really counts. So let's jump right in to the third drill. Now, the most common mistake that players make with their contact is when they accelerate, what they're gonna do, and I used to make this mistake too, they're going to tense up their wrist. And that's what causes your feelings of tension. That's what causes your weakness. That's what causes you to feel tight. Whereas if we look at the best players in the world, looking at Nadal and Federer, you'll see that as they accelerate, their wrist, if we assess from a side angle as well, their wrist is gonna stay in an extended position, lagging behind the upper arm joint as it travels forward through contact. Piecing it together, it's gonna look something like this. With the loose wrist, the arm is gonna pull forward and through the ball while the wrist stays loose all the way through. So in this first step-by-step drill, what you're gonna focus on is actually starting with a condensed stroke. Now, this is a principle that I've learned from studying the most cutting edge science of learning. And what it's called isolation. Now, when you're trying to learn a complex skill, rather than trying to take the whole thing on at once, all the shots, everything, we're gonna simplify things and just master one piece at a time. So what we'll see is with the best players in the world, when they accelerate, they create what's called the transition point. Now, this transition point is exactly where we're gonna start from in drill number 1, where your arm is gonna be in line with your right hip at about parallel to the baseline, just like that, with the racket directly behind, about perpendicular to the baseline. So essentially it's parallel and then perpendicular, just like that. From there, you're gonna fluidly pull the arm forward and not even worry if it's going over the net, but just focus on, with your contact, the arm is gonna be in front of the body, the racket is gonna be lined up to the net just like that, and the wrist is gonna be in extended position. So from this position, you're gonna just very fluidly focus on smoothly pulling the arm forward. It's even a fantastic drill as well to execute perfect timing right off the rise. Now, after you start feeling yourself being very relaxed with that wrist and you're executing the correct contact, you're now ready for drill number 2. So let's jump right in to drill number 2. In this second drill, you're gonna learn how to master exactly that. Now, this alone was the secret of how I broke through and transformed my forehand technique. Because when I first started playing tennis, I was just like you. I was really ambitious. I wanted to play with great form, but when I would set up, no lie, my forehands kind of looked like this. It was super tight, it was super weak, and although I tried to hit the ball really hard, I wasn't able to get that massive power and spin like you're about to master. So in this second drill, what we're gonna focus is achieving, just like you learned in some of my previous videos, that perfect backswing checkpoint, where rather than starting from the transition point, we're now gonna go back to the perfect backswing checkpoint. So the key step-by-step checkpoints are, your right hip is gonna be in line with your right arm, your racket tip is gonna be up and away, the arm is gonna be straight or a little bit bent, depending on your preference, and the wrist is gonna be in an extended position. Now, from here, you're gonna focus on fluidly pulling your arm forward through the ball, keeping a very, very relaxed wrist, and emphasizing that you're getting that perfect contact out in front. Now, the specific element that you want to focus on, like what should I focus on when I'm swinging? What does it really feel like to hit with world-class technique? Here it is. When you're accelerating, imagine that when you're pulling your arm forward, your wrist is going to deliberately stay relaxed all the way through the shot as you then internally rotate your shoulder. To feel what internal rotation is, you can just put your thumb straight out in front of your body and then flip it over real fast. Flip it over real fast. That's internal rotation. That's what the pros are feeling when they're getting that spin. They're not tensing their wrist or their forearm. It's coming from those bigger muscles. And as a result of those bigger muscles, that's how you're able to generate that massive force and effortless power and spin. One more, let's go, I'm feeling good. Ready? And internally rotate. So there, when I hit that last shot, I was like, all right, turn that thumb over, turn that thumb over. One more time, turn that thumb over, big turnover, I gotta get it in. Ugh. See, all that spin and that depth and that power is by trusting the internal rotation and keeping the wrist loose. If you love this drill and want access to over 15 more just like this that are even more in depth and more advanced, again, I encourage you to check out that free video by clicking the link in the description. Now you've mastered drill 3 and 2, let's close with drill number 1. All right, world-class athlete, we're now gonna close with the number 1 drill you can use to now transform and get that perfect contact. So as we recapped, we started from the transition point. We started from the backswing. Now we're gonna piece it all together and start our stroke from the unit turn, where the real key element to focus on, and I learned this from Rick Macy, it's one of those powerful mindsets that transformed my game, is that if you wanna have high performance when you play, especially under pressure situations, you've gotta try not to try. Now, the reason why that this phrase is so powerful is because you've probably been there where you were in a match, all of a sudden ego gets involved and you're like, oh my God, this point, I've gotta win this point. You've set up, you're getting ready to go. And what happens is you overly tense up, you miss it, and you're just over tight and you tense. So the key element to focus on when you're executing this drill is just stay loose, just stay relaxed. Because when you stay relaxed and you just focus on achieving the proper technique, you're gonna find that you can execute with a lot of power by actually just staying very relaxed. I really felt I was like 60%. And that's the real focal point. So the step-by-step drill now, armed with that mindset, is you're gonna go ahead and get started. If we look at the best players in the world, let's see Djokovic, Federer, Nadal, you'll see with their unit turn position, after they split, they're gonna fluidly rotate and achieve this checkpoint where they then drop and extend. So the specific checkpoint that you'll focus on when you're out on the court, and again, there's even more in depth with that link in the description, you're gonna focus on making sure that the racket is in line with your head. Just like that, the racket's gonna be internally rotated and the arm is gonna be bent at about a 90-degree angle. From this checkpoint, you're gonna fluidly drop down into the backswing, accelerate, keeping that wrist loose, very relaxed, pulling that arm forward, trying not to try. After you've made sure that, yes, I am achieving that perfect contact, my wrist is loose, I'm turning it over, then you go ahead and gradually increase the pace. Unit turn, backswing, acceleration, pull forward. Unit turn, backswing, acceleration, pull forward, match point. Unit turn, backswing, try not to try, just like that. All right, world-class athlete, hope you guys absolutely love this video. Get out there on the court, think big, because you can achieve world-class technique by following these drills and believing in yourself. If you want to master the serve pro drop, click there. If you want to master the 5 most common mistakes on the forehand, click there. I encourage you, check out that video in the description. I'll see you on the next video. Let's go.